I don't actually play in paper tournaments a lot, but when I do, when I draft paper, it's at Card Kingdom. Their paper store is called Mox Boarding House Seattle and Mox Boarding House Bellevue. They are my sponsors, though, and they have a website to serve everybody on the planet instead of just those 5 minutes away like me. So if you want to go to cardkingdom.com or click on my affiliate link down below, you can check them out and take care of all your Magic needs there. They have singles, sealed product. You can pre-order the new set before it's out, like M20 stuff. You can sell stuff to them for cash or store credit. If you go store credit, they give you a 30% bonus on their excellent prices. And their buy prices are great too. So it's kind of your one-stop shop for all your Magic needs, and I really appreciate their sponsorship. But we are totally jumping in. No time to waste here. Let's just get in this. So we got a Hanged Executioner. Seems like a great white card. Haven't been drafting much white. Conventional wisdom out there is suggesting it's the weakest of the 5 colors, but I've heard top players suggest it's not unplayable, just the weakest. The Thief might just be the best card in the pack, but it's definitely Thief and Executioner, and we're going to take the Executioner. It's rare. I gotta reformat my thoughts on gem drafting and how to frame it properly, because I think calling these like 20 gems is disingenuous, and it's like, you know, you're gonna get like 212 rares completes your 4x, right? And let's say we get 300 rares by the end of the season. Well, 300 minus 212 times 20 is how many gems we earned from our rares, but it took 300 rares to do that, so it's probably like 300 minus 212 times 20, and then divide that by 300 to really see what a rare is worth to you if you're the kind of person who ends up taking 300 rares over the course of the season, right? Exactly. When I say rares, I don't mean just drafting them from here. I mean rares acquired, however you acquire them, right? But at some point, you're done acquiring M20 rares. You're never going to acquire another one. How many do you have, right? How many do you have when you're done acquiring M20 rares? Subtract 212 from that, and you'll get actually how much gems you've ground from your rares, right? So anyway, let's move on. But I just wanted to mention that because I've been thinking about it, because I feel like I don't want to, I want to get it right. I don't want to compel people to rare draft when it's not gem positive, and so I think I want to do some more math on that and really figure out what's correct. Scheming Symmetry, another rare we could take for whatever gems it is worth. Choose 2 target players. Each of them searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library. Oh, let me get out of your way too. Sorry, I'm sure somebody's down there saying that, but I'm not looking at chat right now. Hey, Dionysus, yes, Jay is going to be on later for some constructed. Giant is sweet, yeah, but I was trying to figure out what this card actually does. Yeah, no, we're not doing that ever. This is purely gems, which would be fine, I think. But I'll say until I have the math really laid out a lot clearer in terms of what our real gem value is, we'll play to our deck strength. So, hey Oni. Let's take the Giant. I love this guy. So look, it's expensive, Zach, but man, this is like a rare level impact card. Gift of Paradise helps get up there to it. Maybe that's where we go from here. I like Frosty, but given taking the Giant, I think I like taking the Paradise here. Reset Press and Dionysus, both interested in metagame challenge info. Well, if Jay's prepared for that, fantastic. If not, we will talk about it and try and figure it out together in the afternoon, okay? Dionysus, if I see the same chat from you in my tiny, tiny chat window, You're doing it too soon, buddy. I don't mind you pinging me for the same thing, but come on. At least let the first one scroll off my screen before you hit me with another. And we're going to take Gift of Paradise here. These are fine, but I want to lean into this. I think this is just a great follow-up pick. It's a little early, like maybe we could even wheel that, but I'm not going to mess around. I want it. Here we could take Leafkin Druid to keep on the green plan, but Spectral Sailor at this point in the pack seems nice. You want to take the Druid, Scooters? It's okay if it takes you 6, but you know, just slow the pace down. You gotta slow your refresh rate. So what do y'all think about this? I'm torn between Leafkin and Sailor. Nice thing about Paradise and generally being base green is the ability to play both Hanged Executioner and Spectral Sailor if we end up down that path. I wish we had voting on. This is where I'd love to just actually see what team going optimal votes. I do want to bring up this, though. 1 second. You can make your text votes, and I'll check in momentarily. Okay, thank you. All right, let's see what people thought. I see Sail, Druid, 2 Sails, 3 Sails, 2 Druid, 4 Sails, 3 Druid, 5 Sails, 4 Druid, 6, 7, 5, 8, 5, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think Sailor is just... I like the Lynx 285. I didn't mention it, but it was just... It was... I really wanted the... I just specifically, after the Giant, really wanted to pick up the ramp spell while I could, but gifted... that card is totally fair. Huh. We're all a little over the place here. I'm going to take the Sailor. I think we can get Druids. Take the... basically, the uncommonness broke the tie there. We could take Winged Words here. Be blue-green, splash, executioning. Definitely the best card here, right? I mean, there's Soul Salvage. Maybe Soul Salvage is up there, but yeah. We got that, right? Might as well move. You know, we've done what we've done. I like Spider or Assault. Spider's better, though, I think. It can attack and also does anti-creature jobs pretty well. And it's... I think we want to be base green-blue here with where we're headed. So I'm going to take Spider. Another gift, or a pattern matcher, which has been doing overtime work whenever I've picked it up. But I think... I love the pattern matcher. But solidifying our position as splash anything, which this kind of becomes, like... When I say splash anything, like if we... Not a Cavalier, but if we get a double color spell that's not blue or green, we could potentially take it if it's powerful enough just by having 2 gifts. Bone to Ash seems fine here. Bone to Ash goes great with Sailor. This is exactly the kind of... Like, Bone to Ash is an acceptable Magic card with no consideration other than having enough islands to cast it. But it gets immeasurably... Not immeasurably, but a huge chunk better when you have instant speed things to do instead of it, so that you can hold this up and counter something if you can, and draw a card if you can't. So I wanted to mention that. Growth Cycle or Fortress Crab, or this is best of 3. We're looking to splash some white already. We could just take the isolation and bring this in against big beasties. Maybe even main deck it. I'll put it in the main for now. Like, we hope to move this to the board, but if we had to run this main, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Denizen, Inquisitor, Raptor. No, you're not wrong. I often get asked what has changed most about your perspective on Limited from your early days, and I usually answer that it's finding a better place for counterspells in my game. I was a little more cabs at that point in time, but I still think the general message I had to deliver about counterspells at that point in time was accurate, which is that they tend to be overvalued by players who see them as removal level quality when they are reactionary and are not a top deck, right? So that's mainly what I always tried to drive home about counterspells, is that they protect an existing position or they ward against really expensive bombs, but they are not an answer off the top of your deck, which is a serious knock on them, and that still stays true. But I have learned how to incorporate them into the game better through being super aware of stuff like playing at instant speed when you commit to some counterspells. Also, removal getting worse has made counterspells better, so that's another thing. I'm not super impressed. I think we'll take this here, actually. But I'm not super impressed with it. I don't mind one in the board, though, because it specifically measures up really well against the strong, cheap flyers. If you just, want something to deal, like, so that you're not, at least not taking one from the Sailor or the Cloudkin or whatever, the Cloudkin Seer, that kind of stuff. So I like having access to one, but I don't prioritize it, I guess is how I would put that. This would be Vault Progress, and but I'll take a Captain just in case we end up somehow veering back towards white. Like, Bone to Ash is fine, but it's not great. We could end up splashing blue again here, too. I want to try and listen to what the bots are telling us. Well, at least they're telling us we might be somewhat in the right colors here. I tend to agree with that, Spartan. It's the color I want to be in. I get excited by the powerful blue cards. Yeah, LR's coming up on 10 years this fall. We started in fall, the fall set of 2009. Our first episode was talking about our first impressions of Zendikar. Anyway, I've talked about how I'm not impressed with this. Some people are, maybe it's, I think if we end up, like, gosh, where are we even? We're kind of being forced back into white, I feel like, but maybe not. These aren't, we'll see. I'm going to take the Inquisitor, though. And the Inspired Charge. Yeah, maybe we're just being forced back. I mean, green is the thing that's dropped off. We have 2 gifts, but I don't know, man. I think this, I'm not happy with this first pack, gotta say that. Feel very disjointed, but at least with toe holds in 3 colors, we can really see where the second pack sends us, I suppose. But I don't like this. I don't like this either. Murder's the best card, and we're nowhere near that. We could take Pattern Matcher, but it probably wheels, so we should just try and wheel the Pattern Matcher. Netcaster is fine if we're still... Oh, there's Pacifism, though. Maybe it's just telling us we have to be white. Kind of, this is new Pacifism art, so my eyes... I haven't really quite adjusted to the fact that this is Pacifism yet. Well, it's very, very cute. Kind of like 2.0 on the original one with the Bambi woodland creature covered zombie. Well, I'm going to try and save at 14. We'll see. This is fine on yeah, this is okay, but I'm so again, I want to figure out the math, the firm. I want to find out math I'm firmer with on gem values of a rare before I commit to further heavy rare drafting. I want to make sure that's right. Let's take pacifism. I mean, the bots are telling us white is wide open. Fine. Let's see if we can make it work. Cove would be good for what we've got going on here. We could just bail. Yeah, we could just bail on the green and become blue-white tempo flyer. That's a way to go here. This doesn't do as much as I think we would hope. And we might just rather have an Octoprofit, or if we want to stay green, there's reasons to stay green here in Leafkin Druid and somewhat Overgrowth Elemental. I don't know. They emailed me last night, Ubermensch, and said that it was going up this morning. So I don't know if it's up yet, but if it's not up yet, it'll probably come up sometime while we're on stream here. Norbert wants the Druid. Anybody else got some opinions here? Are we staying green? I mean, we can't, like, that's the thing. We're still pretty wide here. We can go Druid and then have this beautiful Druid 2-gift, high-end green, play everything else off the gifts type plan, or we can look to abandon green and just go this way. I don't know if they updated it yet. Oh yeah, they did. They got the update in, so check that out. You want the flood, huh? I've not... This seems like fancy play, but not powerful to me. I don't know. Is it better than I think? Huh. It's all. Yeah, I thought this was terrible. So, let's take the Druid. I'm not giving up much to just take the Druid and keep the green everything path open to us. That becomes nice in this world. Better than anything else here, in fact, right? Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. Shaman, try and stick to green. A third gift unlocks the world, but also really gets us prone to flood. And if we played 3 gifts, we'd really want to probably be like 16 land even, and make sure we have lots of stuff, lots of mana sinks. Are we green-white? Oh no. Green-white, yeah, what if are we this? Right now? This is probably what we are right now, huh? All right, maybe we'll wheel this anyway. We'll take the raise. I'm with you. Evolving is a nice additional piece of fixing that is maybe, you know, like I like 2 gifts and evolving maybe over 3 gifts. And there's nothing else much here except there's a second Eternal Isolation. I'm going to take the wilds, though. I was trying to run away, Uber, but the bots are kind of insisting. Is this this might be an overcome deck. We've got an Inspired Charge already, though. The thing with green-white is you don't even need the overcome. You just need to pick up some common Inspired Charges for the same power boost at instant speed and 1 mana cheaper. So, yeah, maybe we just need to focus on more creatures or even a Blossoming Sands to further rockify our mana. Trample is nice, yeah. If you're on the ground, it's true. Yeah, I kind of like the fixing too. Unimpressive, already got one, and Sands. Here we go. This goes in the go wide plan. Everybody loves the pup. Bow for the board or Sanctuary for the board against in slow matchups if we have... it doesn't do anything. This bouncing a Howling Giant is cute, but awfully expensive. Bouncing a pup is cute. Executioner. Yeah, there's a few things that do something, but I guess I'll take it on the chance that that plan improves. I don't really have anything to get with the pattern matcher yet, but we're giving up an aerial assault. So do we go pattern matcher on spec or aerial assault for playable removal that goes right into the deck? What do you think? Yeah, playable, maybe playable is underselling a little bit. Playable plus removal. Decent removal. No patterns yet, but there's a whole other pack to go. We could pick up a druid and a pup and a captain, and boom, suddenly we're happy to have pattern matcher. All right, looks like more support for assault. I'm down. We can enchant for the board, veil for the board, and for the vault progress, or profit on a splash, question mark? I don't think so. I guess veil for the board. Another raptor or Dragonfire Vial. I think I like Vial here over another fairly replaceable 4-drop that we already have one of. Inquisitor. I like that better than this thing. Suddenly we have a pattern. Seeing patterns everywhere. Gift actually is a really nice pickup here. For green-white, I really like Gift because it's going to... Ideally, you throw it on this or whatever and make a dragon. And maybe we could even, if we get access to more bows and vials, we could consider splashing the weaponsmith. But right now, we'll put that there. Ooh, this is probably good for us. This is one of the. This is kind of this new class of rare creature that R&D seems to be in love with right now, which is the, to use LSV's term, a 4-mana stat monster. You know, it's just like value. Yeah, we're gonna pass Warlord. Maybe Warlord will come around. The bots do settle into 2 colors, and I feel like we're the only ones in green-white. So, although the bots, as I left, I should say, as when I left like a year ago, who knows what they've done with the bots since? But at the time that I left, bots were capable of splashing as long as one of the, in a gold card situation, as long as one of the 2 colors is in their colors. So this could be taken to splash by bots. But we're definitely going to take the rare. Shifting Ceratops against Mono Blue seems fine. Saddle seems fine, right? I actually haven't gotten to play with this yet. But I liked the cut of its jib when I read it. Let's see. Yeah, you make a wolf, which is nice because it's super real. And... but it starts out as a hill giant. The equip cost is kind of expensive, but it still seems pretty good. But then we have splashable Seer. Maybe we wheel Tranquil Cove, but Seer is easy to throw in this deck. Saddle on the Shaman. Which Shaman are we talking? Oh, this one? Yeah. Yeah, we have room at 4. Like I don't want to play this if I can help it, so let's take it. I wanted that Woodland Champ. But these wheel. This might wheel. We're going to take a Master Splicer, though. Too good. Too good to not take this. Five power and toughness for 4 mana. And it's two bodies for our hopeful go wide. Hopefully we get another Inspired Charge at this point. Yeah, that's a good point. We could... I'll make a note of back in the saddle for Wolf Rider's saddle. On the meme front, I know that Dionysus is out there lurking, waiting for an update. I have one in the pipeline that I haven't hooked up yet, and my son is actively working on at least a couple more. So while I'm a little behind on them, hopefully we give you a nice suite of them this time around. Just look for those on Monday, I would say. Mentions. You know what you need back in the saddle again for, though, is for Saddleback Lagak. If they reprint that, we're going to update that meme if it gets made. So anyway, back to this. We're going to try and wheel the champ and happily take the Splicer. Here's another gift that might come around to the point that we could consider splashing a Thief off of the gifts and the Evolving Wilds. Except we're already doing blue. And if Evolving Wilds is part of our gifts, can splash anything, but you know, you kind of got to pick your third color with Evolving Wilds. So yeah, I think I like Plummet for the sideboard, potentially wheeling a gift or a Vorst Claw. What does Trailblazer do? Yeah, good question, because that's technically splashable as well. Elemental Pumper. Man, could have used this for yesterday's deck. Still getting used to all these cards. Yeah, it's this is, I think, why kind of conventional wisdom I'm hearing right now is force elementals, because the bots don't value the stuff enough. I think we'll take the Plummet and then hopefully wheel this or this and decide between, you know, get whichever one of those makes it back. Yeah, maybe because of the ramp, I should have just taken the 7/7 while I could. Hopefully it wheels. It's not super in demand. I was going to snap the Spider, but let's take a look at Curve here, because there's some white cards we could consider. Like maybe we just want a Griffin Sentinel to pad out our 3s a little more than another 5, but we only have 2 5s, and we do have ramp, and we specifically have ramped from 3 to 5, so yeah, this I'm sensing this is solid. I mean, I'm fine with a 2/3 flyer for 4 as a baseline. We are creating 2 creatures with 1 spell a lot in our deck. Yeah. Let's give the Protector a try. It's kind of on theme with what we're doing here. I'm gonna give this a try. We're doing a lot of 2-creature turns. You take ramp fixing, but we already kind of have that in our gifts, and I'll just take Inspiring Captain here and continue to try and go wide. We did this yesterday to mixed success. Had a pretty dramatic win thanks to Season of Growth, and it would have been better if I had read it, in the sense that I played creatures ahead of playing Season of Growth once at least. Let's see. What are we taking here, though? We have a Veil. We could take a Bond. Are we really ever going to play that? It does kind of increases 1 creature and makes another, so that's not the worst. Kataski just wants Veil City. Kind of want, man, I think I just want the gift. How many cards? 27, 26. We have 25, so we're making a couple cuts from this. And we got some less than amazing cards here, so cutting won't be too difficult. All right, we'll take this against the murders. Hey, our champ made it back. That's nice. I'd like a squad captain, but we're going to take champ. Here's a heart piercer bow. We do have the weaponsmith and could conceivably fetch these. We don't have any of these so far, so we can't do the foot soldier thing, but we could just take captain here. Oh, that wasn't the wheeled champ? Great, maybe we'll get another one. Yeah, good point. This is our first wheel. So I'll just take the captain, though. It seems like it's exactly what we're trying to do. So 3 of those. I think we'll play all 3. Aerial assault for more removal, but Cove really shores up the easy blue splash of Sailor and Winged Words if we want to do that. And since we have cuts, and again, this is solid removal, though. Maybe I just take the solid removal. Well, this is the point. This is the time to decide, right? Because assault, if we just want to say, let's see what this looks like without a splash. At that point, I question playing 2 gifts, even we're not accelerating to that much. Maybe we play 1. Probably have this for the board, and then our deck looks like this. Plus, we get to put in an aerial assault and decide what else, what our worst card is. We take out both gifts. I really like it when I'm both ramping and fixing. All right, let's just... Norbert still likes the splash. I'm going to take the aerial assault either way. I don't think this kills the splash. You want Moment of Heroism. Interesting. Sunset wants Moment of Heroism. Being aggressive can make assault worse, but it does tend to lend itself to racing. Yeah, we're not really aggroing out, right? Yeah, maybe I should just take the Cove and keep the splash. If we're gonna keep the splash, I should just take the Cove, I think. I was gonna say the splash survives even with the assault, but oh man, this is a contentious one. Sure wish we had voting. This would be a fun one to vote. Need removal. Do we need removal? Removal is great. We don't have any bites, that's true. I think we need to splash the blue for power level purposes, so I'm going to take the Cove. Hey, this is the one I was talking about that I hoped would wheel, and there it is. We did pass up a few bows, but too late. I felt like we had spent enough time on that anyway. Here, this gift came back around. We got some cuts to make. And even the Griffin Sentinel came around. Yeah, nice. All right, we ended up with some... we got some decisions, and even a final pick Daybreak Chaplain. Man, we suddenly picked up aggro parts late as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. Norbert, you're absolutely correct that Assault was a viable pick, even if we were going to splash. In fact, I've not flip-flopped on a pick that much in a while, I don't think, but I was very close to doing exactly that, Norbert, taking the Assault while still thinking we were going to splash. But then I decided if we really wanted that blue splash, let's really support it. And I love... I mean, we can even do it without the both gifts at this point. Like, we could do it like this, and it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 sources for a 2-card splash. All three? I don't think I want to cut all three. Depends. Let's see how this looks. First, let me just to see what it looks like. Let me get out of your way first of all. Deck building, Ryan, and then no, we're probably not. I think it's cute on big fatties, but we don't even actually have that many. We have well, this is pretty good too. The reason I like the idea of the gift is that it has very little downside if you are sensible about when you cast it, and turning these ground stalls into game-winning dragons is pretty sweet because it doesn't cost us a lot of doesn't cost us much to do that. Yeah, we do have, maybe captain is just the worst and we keep, but I'd like to keep one. I want to find room for a captain. And if we did cut, I'm down with cutting the gifts if we're keeping the blue splash. Let's start with something where we're keeping the blue splash and see what that looks like. Like, what do you think of this? And we're not splashing another blue, so we can look at this like this. Yeah, we could... I think you can get away with one main and not be too unhappy. I think every deck I've played has had a target for this. I mean, maybe there was that Boros deck that didn't have a good one, but even those... maybe not. If we don't need all the 2-mana dorks, we could even do like this, and this, and this. And then what does this do for us? 17-8. Well, if we don't play Gift of Paradise, what are we playing? Also, I didn't check. Let's make sure. And we have a Raptor that we could play, or a Vial if we thought that's how important the lack of removal we're seeing is. We could do like that and that. If we're splashing, Gift is solid. If we're splashing and ramping, Gift is great. We are slightly ramping. And we are splashing, so if you play too many of them, though, then you get to the point where, well, you get 17 mana sources here, 18, 19, 20, and then very quickly over half your deck suddenly becomes mana, and then you flood out too much. Yeah, we could play Isolation main and then bring in Vial if they are low down. And we need to kill small stuff. I think I like where we've landed here. I got a soft spot for these gifts and kind of wish I could play one, but I think maybe everything else is better here. You could also start a gift instead of an isolation and bring in isolation if they are big. That's the other thing. Like a card like Gift, if you have a bunch of narrow, powerful sideboard cards, like, well, we've got Veil of Summer, we've got, Plummet, we've got Eternal Isolation. Let's play a generic main deckable card that has a floor that's really nice and high, solid floor. And then in sideboarding, sideboard out the Gift 100% of the time for whatever our best sideboard option is. So that's like one thing you can do in that situation. Yeah, we can even play a Gift over one of these Inquisitors. They do have a decent threat of activation. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other early drops. Yeah, maybe we can try that. Fulfill my desire to see if we can make a dragon. All right, enough chat. Thanks for the help through a really tough pick there as we were trying to decide on more Aerial Assault or the Cove. DJ doesn't like this cut. I'm okay with it, DJ. We're still at 16 creatures with a Raise the Alarm, so and a Wolf Rider Saddle. We're mostly creatures. We're like 18 creatures, so we're fine on creatures. And we're gonna call this Assault the Cove. In honor of that tough pick. Oh, let's make sure our green is right and stuff as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sources of green. 5, 6, 7, 8 sources of white. And feels like we should have more than that. Is this 6, 11, 12, 13, 14? Oh, we're low on land. Ooh, glad I checked. We have more cuts to make, folks. We probably can't play this gift. I think I cut 2 islands and didn't put anything back. So glad I checked. It's like, why do we have great mana? Why is that so low? Okay. Always check your mana, folks. 12, 13, 14, 15. That's even not even there, right? 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Jeez. You're such a pro, Spain. I think because of the gift, we'll put a nod towards the forest and then actually figure out how to build our deck. Okay, we need to make... That's the other thing. I was like, how do we have... Wow, we have effectively 18 creatures and 8 non-creatures. What a... We packed it all in here. I thought these cuts were going to be tougher. Maybe even cutting the Griffin Sentinel here actually is what I want to do. Oh yeah, there's a captain we could cut. Yeah, maybe captain, Sentinel back. Sentinel's kind of weak though. I've never been a big fan of the Sentinel if you're not doing actively a lot to increase its power. 1 power is just so ineffective. Like your opponent can ignore 1 power and they can't ignore 2 power. And that's just such a huge difference for me. So yeah, I kind of want to say, let's put in a gift. Put back in a gift. We're still 15, 16 creatures. And we only, we lose out on some of our meh white stuff, but they're all replaceable. Okay. This is our deck that we're gonna go with. Why are we screwed? This shuffler's broken. Sentinel's an old card. When was this first printed? Like, I think this is reprinted because it's, you need bad cards too. Like, it's a nice playable bad card in a way, a playable mediocre. Battlefield view. Nice. Boom, boom. Boom. And then a charge to cap it off. I love it. When would you run a 16 land deck? When my deck can function on 3 lands. I mean, it's a good... I'm not... Yeah, it's a good heuristic for it. And functioning on 3 lands can mean a couple different things. Historically for me in Limited, it's meant that I either have a very low curve and like no 5s or maybe 1 5 and a handful of 4s and the rest is 3 and 2s, or if I'm playing like 3 Gift of Paradise and I'm actually ramping, but that still fits the definition of my deck functions on 3, right? Because then I can cast my Gift of Paradise and be okay. So ironically, big mana ramp decks and low to the curve aggro are the 2 places where you might find me at 16 land. Or lots of card draw. We've also done that. Like, I have a few 4s and a couple of 5s, but so much card draw that we just don't feel like it's going to be a problem. And our card draw starts at 3. So once again, works on 3 because if your card draw starts at 3 or before, it's going to do that for you. No problem. Glad to help. Well, might have to just give him the old champ here. Unfortunately, the charge is not even going to get the pup through the 1/3. Maybe we don't even bother with the champ yet. I'm just going to go, like, since there's no other good attacks, may as well just play this and say no attacks. Maybe we'll find my Angelic Gift and get that Woodland Champion up in the air and away from that Lich. So if we let it hit, they gain a life and they get to loot. I think we're just gonna have to let them loot because we can get decent. I think we can now Inspired Charge back the other way, and they're not gonna block the pup. It'll be a little bit telegraphed, but let's see. No, I don't want to block with the pup because we have Inspired Charge. That pup is worth a couple of damage back the other way. Yeah, that makes me want to now wait. We'll go Splicer and charge later. We did have a double block, but I didn't want to lose any of my creatures yet. I'm trying to keep all my creatures alive to maximize the charge, and in doing so, yes, we give them 1 point of life and a loot, but I think it's correct to try and stay as wide as possible given this charge. And we get good attacks in the air anyway. I think this is going to be a pretty good Inspired Charge, getting in some extra damage and winning combat against the Sorcerer and making trades. Potentially, if they block 4/4 on 4/4... Oh man, they're going to do that too? Okay, that's great for us. You get your loot, and you even get your Epicure. I know it's sweet little combo, but hopefully the combo of 1 billion creatures in Inspired Charge is equally impressive, if not more so. Useless Forest is about the worst draw in our deck for this situation, but... hopefully they try 4/4 on 4/4 and bounce. That works too. Yeah, perfect. We win both of those combats. How's your Lich now? Yeah, not a sniper confirmed. Thank you, Mirrowwood, for not being a sniper. Nice follow-up play to try and survive. Let's see if we have the damage to get there. Yeah, that is a good follow. Like that we just don't have an attack here. Like we have 4/4 trading for Lich, and then Dungeon Geist that's holding off everything else we have. So sadly, we are gonna drop a land. Well, they're playing black. We might be asked to discard with that uncommon, the new Rat Burglar. So I think I'm going to hold the land and pass. 4/4 trade for Lich is not great. No, because I mean, they just, like, I would rather stay back. And again, like, if we get Angelic Gift, for example, suddenly we're happy to throw that on here and fly over and make him do chumps. So, I mean, they just looted. They looted twice or whatever. It's not that big a deal. 3 times. ETB, attack twice. It's nice. What did they loot away? I mean, they looted away real stuff. And one land. Anyway, what's our best hope here? MTG tracker not helping me. I'll go look at my picture instead. So we would like... Don't have any anti-enchantment stuff, not even in the board, really. We do have 2 Veils of Summer that we can bring in. Oof. Looks like we're gonna have to win through the air if they keep doing this, so now I really want to find that Angelic Gift. Inspiring Captain might do enough to get through. Oh, sorry, I know I'm in your way. That doesn't help. The rules text is me! Let me go here. Hey, all right, we're at least gonna get our own. All right, I'm not. This is not optimal timing, but it's optimal timing when you're old like me. Like the lost EV of showing Oppo the island is nothing compared to the lost EV of me forgetting to crack that thing at the end of their turn. It's nothing. Yeah, I have one. Let's see. I've been up here. I can play around with bottom right. I don't know. Hi. Siratemi, I really like... well, you tell me, chat. Especially I'd like to hear from the YouTube viewers. Like, the people I hear most from that appreciate the chat box... The people that appreciate the chat box the most are my YouTube viewers who don't have access to the live chat. Now I think we take the... We got Sailor coming. Let's take the 1-for-1 here. Especially since our token is murdered anyway. Right, so I like keeping... Anyway, to get back to that, so having chat on the screen is important, and in my head, it's important that the chat is near me, but maybe that's not right. But I feel like since people are reading chat to understand what, like, the context of what I'm saying, that my thought was that people are inherently, from a UI standpoint, going to want chat and streamer image to be together. But perhaps I'm overthinking that. So now they don't have the mana to pump here. So if we pacifism the Geist, we get to attack. But one problem with that plan is that, well, obviously, our protector stays down and they get to continue looting every turn. However, they're going to start attacking us here. And we're going to lose to that. I think we have to do this. I'm going to go ahead and pacify the Geist, despite how much value it leaves our opponent with. I think that's correct. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to play this now because now discard doesn't hurt us, and we have card draw that we're going to start using. Yeah, I'm not making the chat will stay on screen. My real question to you all, especially YouTube viewers, is does the location of the chat on the screen matter beyond legibility? Does it matter proximity to the streamer portrait? Does that matter to anybody? Because when I watch streamers, I like it when they're together. So that's how I went with that. We do get this one attack in, so let's do it. It's possible that with our Sailor, we compelled Oppo to chump because they saw a pause. That might explain if what Mira Wood here was up to. Yeah, not a bad call to think about bringing in Portal as anti-sleep and Dungeon Geist tech. Put the chat above the cat and remove my face altogether. Some days I feel like that would make everybody happier, but I think people like the face. My mama likes this face. Funny. I guess we'll draw 2 for 2 instead of 1 for 4, but funny. Maybe we'll find our gift and get to draw another one anyway. Well, that helps us draw 2 next turn. And this is nice. Pro blue. Reach. I don't have anything going attack-wise but the Sailor. But nice that we're getting in. I mean, they're at 6. Every point counts. Thank you, Sailor. Oh, it was haste one of the options? Sorry. Dummy, not reading his cards. I'm not even sure we wanted to. Like, they're just gonna... they would have just double-blocked, such that I don't know if we would have even wanted to do that. And they have full 5 toughness for trample being useless. Like, would you have done that, Mike? Would you have hasted and forced the double chump? Maybe so, because then they just have to... it kind of forces it, and then you have other attacks to follow. We'll call that a punt. Yeah, just again, I missed haste on this for the same reason I was missing reach on the red creature. Just not quite common enough for your brain to register it. I like Siratemi taking the Dionysus role. Thank you. What's that about? What is that about? What are they doing? I guess they just figure Epicure's coming down, so that's what's going to block the Ceratops. But is this suicidal, or what else is... What could this be in their hand that they're doing this? Blade Brand? Yeah. Blade Brand or Cutthroat. But we just don't care. Who cares about 3? You got it, buddy. Like, I don't... There's nothing that could warrant us blocking there. Champ is fine. It can even be cast on second draw. I don't think we have anything... Yeah, if we attack with all, they're going to go block, block, no block, and then we have Champ against 3/3. But yeah, let's draw. Might as well draw. I'm down with that. Nice. That makes me more inclined to want to just attack with everything here, because we get next turn Giant following up the Champ, and that should be great. Yeah, Haste is definitely in the color pie of green, but not at lower rarities, so that's why it sneaks up at you. It's usually... Maybe I don't know... Can anybody name a... Haste green, uncommon, mono green, uncommon haste? I know they do it at rare, but I'm not sure. I can't remember if there's an uncommon example. Yeah, we could trample for 1, but then we lose out on casting Champ, so we're not going to take the trample. No, we're gonna cast the Champ so that he can attack as a, or she, so that the champion can attack as a 4/4 next turn. More important to play and attack as a 4/4 than get 1 extra point in here. Strangleroot Geist, thank you. Nice call. Strangleroot Geist. Has there been one since? Like, long time, right? Uncommon green haste is rare. Yeah, but that involves black, which also has tertiary haste, so kind of green-black together have as much haste as red, you know? Oh, it wasn't? Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, it was Golgari, but not... It had the Golgari stamp. When you said Golgari, I thought you were saying it was gold. But yes, that's true. That's an even more recent one. So very occasionally at Uncommon they do it, is the lesson there. And yeah, you get your 3 damage again, Oppo. And hopefully we get you on this attack. So there you go. It was not Blade Brand, it was that dude, and maybe this just elicits a scoop. You could argue not showing them this, but it's common mediocre removal. I don't care that we are showing them. Yeah, we could assault the Geist, but I don't care about the Geist anymore. I think this just gets us... I just want to clear out actual blockers. Is that a punt? Like, if it's a punt, it's because I was just so locked in on the win that I didn't think it mattered. Like, it was just a decision to... Very similar. Like, basically, getting rid of the Geist increases our attack ability by 1 creature and killing their creature increases our attack ability by 1 creature. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Like, I just try to make, like, if it's a punt, I want to learn from it. I guess the punt there is not considering the line, but I think in the end, it's they were basically 100%ers either way. I'm not sure how Oppo gets out of that. I guess maybe there's some rares or something. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Let's talk about sideboarding here. We actually didn't get targeted with too much removal, which is where Veil comes in. But we did get hit with like the blue set. We'll bring both of these in for sure, and Plummet for sure. Good. I think did we see much for this? We saw a couple 4/4s. We can keep that in. Oh yeah, they did murder our token. I was looking away when that happened. All right, running out of time. I got to find cuts here. I'm gonna go cut the gift, cut the isolation because I need to make a call, and cut. Oh, this is hard. I'm gonna cut the saddle because I need to cut something. I'm sure that was not the right cut, but maybe I should just cut one of the veils, not being sure. But I didn't want to... Oh, man. Replace any of these with any land in our deck, and this is a fine keep, but gotta mulligan this. Alright, that looks good. And... I guess we have to ditch the Veil here. It's the least important card for what we can accomplish. Yeah, in regards to going away from Go Wide Pump and towards the Splash, it wasn't that much of a step. We lost 2 captains. But other than that, we are basically still on all of this kind of the same tokens, Go Wide stuff with charge and the one captain left, that we are kind of still doing that. I'm going to go with the Leafkin Druid here. Yeah. You want to do Champ, Norbert? Well, we don't have a 3rd land yet is the thing. If we had a 3rd land in hand, I would do Champ, because then we have for sure Pup. But we don't have, since not knowing if we're drawing a land, I'm inclined to play my my mana fixing. So that's why I'm doing this. And if we draw a land, I get it. And if we draw a land, we'll play Woodland Champ. Yeah, maybe you're right. Like, if we draw a land, if we don't draw a land, we're playing the Woodland Champ. If we do draw a land, we're playing the Woodland Champ. Fine, I'll play the Champ. Druid unlocks the hand, but it doesn't matter if it unlocks the hand next turn or this turn, because we're 100% playing Champ next turn no matter what. That's why I did that. In a sense, I mean, Norbert, you're saying yay, but it barely matters. It barely matters because the net result is that at the end of our turn 3, we're going to have a Woodland Champion and a Leafkin Druid untapped on our side, right? There's no difference to the end result, actually. No, I know you weren't. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to clarify, like, I want to learn the right lessons, right? I just want to, it's not that I'm trying to simma you. I'm saying I just want to learn the right lessons. Good time zone, sir. I'm assuming, sir, your name is Slowbra. What up, Thordalis? Well, what difference would the land have made? Explain how the land is a difference maker. Too bad this was an Evolving Wilds. I really wanted to get a Griffin Protector down next for that sequencing, but I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to play the Pup and the Wilds, or the Executioner. Maybe we do the Executioner. I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Executioner can actually attack. And what I like about this is that it puts 4 creatures out, so Leafkin Druid is double trouble next turn. And that the Executioner can actually attack for damage, and the Pup results cannot. The Executioner could even execute the Piranhas if we felt that was appropriate. Yeah, both put creatures out. One puts creatures out that can attack. One puts creatures out that can't attack. I'm going to go with the attacking variety. Pup will pump Griffin later. No, this will pump Griffin later. Like, the Griffin doesn't care which of these happens later. The only difference I could see was what could attack, and this can attack. Actually, I would say Executioner's ability is a reason not to do this one. That if you were worried that Oppo is now just going to murder our Executioner before we can get value out of it, and that in that spot we would rather have the Pup. So if that's your reasoning for wanting to play the Pup, I can get behind that as why you would opt for that over something that can actually produce some damage. Of course, with Zephyr Charge here, we're not going to fall for that trap. They're now in a spot where they can block with Piranhas. But we're in a spot where, let's see, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we found another land, we'd have 6, and we'd be able to execute the Piranhas and attack. That's a flying. That flying reading Piranha is about to head to the gallows. I'm not sure how you slip a noose around this puppy, but we're gonna try. Just kind of put the noose around the tank. We could do Words and Splicer if you think you don't want to execute now, but I don't want them to get value. They're going to just start looting and going to town here. So anyway, yeah, I think we execute because it's preventing attacks on the ground, and while Hardcover may not be the best Magic card ever printed, looting is good. Yeah, you can find Land Protector, but I think we do all of that stuff here. Like, we go Protector into Master Splicer after, and into Pup or whatever, after we start by executing the Piranhas. What? Oh, no! Never mind, that doesn't work. Lesson learned. Unfortunately, we punted the turn off. Darn. Yeah, I had to. Oh, I had to float first. Okay, well, we can still do it. They get a loot then, right? Let's do. Oh, come on. Let me have action back. Yeah, now I know how to do it, but now I've lost my turn. I got roped and I've lost my turn. Sucks. But we'll make them at least loot on their upkeep. So the cost of my fumbling there is 1 extra loot for Oppo. One extra loot for Oppo and 1 point of damage, as we would have attacked with our flyer too. It's a punt, but it's not. It was a punt. It was not a punt of intent. I don't care if you punt. Like, it really doesn't matter to me what chat wants to define as a punt. On a personal level, there's nothing I can learn from that other than tap your dude first. I just failed to mechanically execute the correct strategy. So, whatever. Mod only? Sorry, Oppo, I know it looks like I'm wasting your time, but I'm not trying to be mean. But, how do I... There we go. Sorry, Oppo. I'm paying attention. Here we are. So that's probably going to get pacified, but we don't need to do that yet. Let's drop the... Let's see, we can get... Oh, we can do it yet. We can do... Let's start with the Protector and go ahead and just pacify that Epicure. They're pretty low on cards, and a 4/4 is about the best body we saw from them last game anyway. Splicer attacks for more than Protector, but this makes it a 4/5, which I thought was good. Maybe I'm fancy playing it, though. 2 Veils, but not at the right time. Well, hopefully these two still combine to make life rough for Oppo here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's max our mana here. Man, that's too bad. Oh, look at how much power and toughness Oppo has pinned down here. Very frustrating. No, I have not. You want me to try? Does Deckmaster need an update? Tired of... all right. Let's try. Let's first try just opening it. If Deckmaster is working elsewhere when we finish this match, remind me and I'll go. Oh, come on. I want our Veils. So annoying. So annoying. Well, we still have big stuff to play, though, so that's good. 7 mana, spend 3 of it on here to get back to 5 and play one of our 5s. That seems fine. Unfortunately, no attacks, but Silverback looks like it has good attacks currently. We'll see if that... I mean, right now it has great attacks. We'll see if they stay that way. They only had 1 card. Ah, Sadness Town. Well, we're going to offer that trade, and then we're going to throw out the Spider and see if the Spider is good enough. Oppo thinks we're racing. That's fine by me. Now we're just going to swing away. I don't know if it's lethal, but math is definitely for blockers. Getting 4 damage out of these two was pretty big. Ooh. It's like, well. But now we don't have attacks again. I just don't think we do. Let's see. They've got 2 blockers. We have 3 things with power. So we only get through for 1. That's definitely not worth it. So we are waiting for help. They got dumb again, though. Need to get back to school. I think the whole dad joke thing is just an excuse to be using the same bad humor I've been using my whole life. It's just now somehow I have a license for it or something. Oh, sure. Hi, Vale. No, you're not that late. Don't worry about it. We'll make use of you. So, I don't have any attacks. Back to waiting. We're in game 2 here. I felt like... I know I can be a very deliberate, shall we say, drafter and deck builder, but I thought we got going pretty quick. These have just been super grindy. All right. Makes sense. They're not going to lose. They're not going to win sitting around waiting for me to find attacks. But this gives us possible good ones. It's pretty bold to attack with both like this. Are they dropping? Maybe they're dropping the Boneclad. It probably makes sense that they're going to go land Boneclad here, which is why they're willing to attack. No. Probably have to just draw a card here. Why not eat Sprite? Oh, with this, I don't trust what they're doing. I kind of like just want to keep our creatures and try and win back. But this is, ugh. We had Veil against any sort of shenanigans, yes, but we're behind right now, Kataski. They have attacks and we don't. We are right now. If the board does not change, we're losing. And given that, I'm about cycling to find an answer to try and win this game. Could have eaten a creature for free. Oh, because I had the protection against it. Sure, that makes sense. Should have done that. I'm with you. Hexproof, not protection, is not his fiddles. The point is that if they had some kind of trick to finish off the spider, we could have stopped it. Although it wouldn't have stopped. Yeah, it would have stopped. Yeah, because we could have stopped anything. We could have stopped Cutthroat and everything. So it's a definite punt. Like, because the sprite could be dead, and we'd still have our card. And obviously a dead sprite is is great considering that we're still being attacked by it. You sound a little scorned, Blackadder. Are you resentful of unpunts? Well, we know what they're up to with it. I'm going to still say no blocks. He forgot to fly it. I forgot to block it. Again, though, I really, like, we're trying to somehow get around it. Now we're just... Now we're in for it. All these blocks we can still do, though. Although I think we should... I didn't even have fight. Like, we needed to put, like, Wolf and Spider on it. I'm not even sure we wanted to do that. Like, this is kind of what I was waiting for. Okay, that's cool, Blackadder. You know how text is. It's hard to read intent in language sometimes. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers. That's not going to be enough, is it? But it might force some trades. Does it do that? I think it's still what we have to do. Like, what else do we do? There we have, yeah, it's got to be what we do. This is more math is for blockers, and also math is for those who are not about to be dead to Zephyr Charge activations. Well, looks like we're probably going to game 3, so we can revisit all of that sideboarding stuff. I took out the saddle thing because I was desperate on clock. Yeah, Kitaski, I may have been a little overconfident in the using that charge. Like we just kind of figured, or I did, like math is for blockers. This is going to be great. We're going to get a heck ton of damage in and be able to mop up from there. And then we just weren't able to mop up from there. I'd say it's generally not playable. It's managing to do some work for Oppo here, but... it gets better as this format gets grindier, right? Like, if you have... The thing is, if you have card draw, you can recover the card disadvantage, and if you have time, then this actually gets pretty good. So maybe this is a format more conducive to it than formats have been historically. We only have the one blocker. They're going to fly over and kill us. Yeah, we're dead. I don't think I played that well. I think Ben S has a strong chance of moving on to match 2 here. I'm not saying, like, we definitely punted the game away, but I made a lot of mistakes this game, so let's try and recover for game 3. Okay, let's focus in on here, figuring out what we want to do. I think I do want both of these. We just didn't get them at the right times, and then I didn't use one. Like, if I had used it properly, it could have changed the outcome of that game potentially. Like, that's one of them, because they have our clock might be a little longer, and they have one fewer blocker, etc., etc. Isolation did see some more targets, but still not a ton, right? I just didn't see a ton of targets for isolation. There is Portal. I think I want to bring in... No, I don't think we have a Naturalize, unfortunately. Yeah, 5/5 Death Touch was a target. Portal unlocks creatures from... They're showing a lot of tap down. So it releases creatures from lockdown. Although Portal, let's see. Auras do go back, so it doesn't solve that problem. And the games are going long, though, and that's where we can do some ETB stuff that's pretty good. I think I want to try that. And then I'm going to take out one Veil. Actually, I think do this. So much, like, we pack one, picked one, the Executioner, but we're actually looking like we were getting out of white, and then the packs were just full of white. Like, we just couldn't not take it, and it pushed us there. I'm going to try this. Try the Portal of Sanctuary. Yeah, Captains is the go-wide thing, but if we're not successful there, I don't know. Maybe we're a little bit mixed up in our... Ooh. Okay. And they mulliganed. Yes, Thor Dallas, I would say Conventional Wisdom has white lower, and they've mulled twice. I say Conventional Wisdom because I don't have firm conclusions, but I do listen to the community, and the community tends to be on the ball, so the community is kind of saying white is underwhelming. But not unplayable. I'd say that's the message I hear from the community. Underwhelming, but not unplayable. Yeah, if we can draw a land, we definitely want Druid. Yeah, no. See, I think I'm going to risk it. We're going to draw a land. Totally going to draw a land. This is going to be great. Mono red? No, we've not drafted mono red. Is that a thing people are doing? Yes, got there. So next turn, if both of these survive, great. But we get to attack and use Raise the Alarm as a combat trick. It's the bag. Love the bag. But it might be good for us that they're playing bag here because they don't really have time to fiddle around with a bag against this hand. I noticed that. I got into that conversation on Twitter. I think Marshall will play the bag and come around. That's my prediction. Please block, please block, please block, please block. Doesn't matter that you're not going to block. This is happening anyway. And we even get a follow-up Inquisitor. Yeah, that's what somebody mentioned on Twitter. I don't know. Karsten's a better player than me. It's true. I don't deny that. But has Frank played with the bag? Like, it's so good. And in terms, like, I don't know, is a tier list supposed to be a pick order list or just kind of abstract power type discussion? Just because, like, the colorlessness of bag is so huge for me, pack one, pick one, that it's a major factor in why I'm excited to take it. So over murder, or excited, or why I would take it over murder. So I don't know. In this case, we could pacify the Geists, and then we have some solid attacks with Inquisitor and Champion, but then we don't get to play Silverback Shaman this turn. We could also just send in the Champ, leave everything else back, or we could also, like, I bet they don't block the Inquisitor. Gosh, I think I have waited too long now, but I think if we had quickly gone attack, they're not going to block the Inquisitor, but now I feel like I've waited too long, so I'm going to just attack with the Champ. And if they want to block with the Geist, we'll take that, but I don't think they will. Yeah. Silverback Shaman here is great. With Pacifism and Activation next turn, we have a great attack. Oppo is really finding some great cards given that they mold to 5. Like this, remember, Oppo's mold to 5 and they're putting up a great fight here, so pretty impressive. Yeah, I will make that block. If you want to send in the Blood Burglar, I will somehow find a way to make that block. I think so. I think if you tank forever and then attack, bluff attack, I think you're lowering your chances of the bluff attack working. That's my gut, but I don't have data or anything to back that up. I'm gonna block. Let's see. Let's do math. They have 2 blockers after we pacify. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. They block our 2 biggest. But this has trample, so they get 1 point here, eat that, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then they're down. They just, both of these creatures are gone. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, so we're just gonna pacifism and attack everything. Except the druid. No reason to do that. Right on. Okay, we were going to see about updating Deckmaster, and I'm going to go to profile for a sec. We'll go to soapbox mode, chat for a second while I find the Deckmaster update. Uninstall. Well, I think I can tell the Shatterpause story while I uninstall here, but back when was it Mind Shatter? Mind Shatter. Oh, Deckmaster's working? It just got there? Okay, cool. Sorry, I thought I needed to reinstall. Great, Deckmaster's just working. Excellent. Anyway, Mind Shatter was a card that was in Standard, and Marshall had put together a deck, just brewed his own deck that was a ramp discard deck, and Mind Shatter was not getting heavy play in Standard, so it wasn't like a common thing to get Mind Shattered. And yeah, I missed it. Sorry, Fiddles. And then so he loved this deck, but he found that when he cast Mind Shatter for 6 or whatever to completely wipe out his opponent's hand, they would sit there and stare at the Mind Shatter on the stack. And they could be tapped out. It didn't matter what the context of the game was. They would just sit there staring at this Mind Shatter X = 6 on the stack, and just is it not Mind Shatter? Or try Mind Space Shatter. Anyway, he called it. Basically, he was using Mind Shatter like a Mind Twist, and he named the time that they would sit there watching the Mind Shatter sit there on the stack. Might get the name wrong? It's definitely Shatter something, right? Anyway, black X, Oppo discards X cards, and he called it the Shatterpause because he started to notice it around that. Are we still happy with the deck? We did get a pretty hard-fought first win out of it. I don't know why the card lookup's not working, but I mean, here's the card. Did you see my question about Gloomhaven's digital version? No, but that's intriguing. What do you think? Keep or mull? I mean, we have an Evolving Wild, so we can thin our deck. Well, we got both of our splash cards, which is a little awk, but we got to keep this. We'll send probably the words to the bottom. Although, if we find blue, we may prefer the words to the sailor, given the lack of land. It's either a sailor or words, but I don't know which we'd rather have if we found blue. Yeah, you might be right, Kitaski. The sailor's probably... if we find blue, words will be more helpful than sailor to come out of this mulligan, so I'm going to keep the winged words. And we do have a... Effectively, this is not at the bottom of the deck, because somewhere in our library is an Evolving Wilds that will put this randomly in the deck. Yep, Hat is there with me on that. I have not been playing enough Gloomhaven. I want to. My daughter's kind of out on it, but my son is into it. If I just push him to play, so I gotta do some more play here now that we've hit the summertime. Well, this hand is begging for one of those woodland champions. If we draw one, I'll cast it, even though it's off curve. There's a gap in time between I'm writing something in chat and you see it on your side. How long is it? Well, there you go. I just saw that. It kind of just popped up for me. So anyway, that's my timing on it, Vaporkin. Yeah, refreshing can help your rates on that kind of thing. All right, we don't get sweet, sweet token triggers, but we do get a very cute puppy. I mean, ferocious. That pup is ferocious. That's a good point, Hat. You can test your own delays by typing something and seeing where it appears on my screen. Pretty suspicious. What is the flash situation in green? Is there flash creatures in green that we need to be thinking? I mean, obviously they have gifts, so it could be anything, but I'm only gonna play around green-red here. Yes, 4-mana rare wolf has flash, you're right. Do we worry about that? Do we actually hold back? I generally don't play around rares till I see them, but this is super suspicious. 5 mana and 4 cards in hand, and they're not doing anything? I'm going to attack. Make them have it. I generally don't play around rares, and that's why they frequently don't have it. We can go Splicer, and if we draw land, I won't... we need a forest, but if we draw a forest, I won't forget the haste. But this is just 5 right away, so let's not... let's not worry about that. Because if it was any land, maybe that would be the play. But given that it's got to specifically be... Oh, Splicer's 5? What? Oh, also 5 power. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm still going to do this. even though they're technically the same power, Splicer is a shock away from turning it into 3 power, and I like having it all in one bigger body for combat, but obviously against removal it's worse. Here I'm going to go ahead and gift onto a plains, and then we can cast the Inquisitor. Really? You think it was clearly a mistake, Kutaski? I mean, I had my reasons. One big dude against green. If they don't play something with 3 or more power, then shifting Ceratops becomes pretty great. I mean, granted, we have a 4/4 Golem there as well, which is of similar combat effectiveness, but I could only play this on 5 with haste if we specifically drew a forest. Maybe we want words first? Yeah, I guess we want attack first no matter what. No, I didn't have a gift when at the time we're talking about that play. And this is why I didn't want to do this. I can't do anything to save it. Not that I don't want to be results oriented about that. Anyway, it was the possibility of easy killing of Master Splicer with red removal was one of the considerations, but I'm not trying to say haha. It was just reminding that I did at least consider that aspect of it. Better to splice here than bother with winged words yet. I think in balance, if I could do it over again, I would. I think it's probably right to play the Splicer. I guess my main argument is that it's not... the gap between those plays isn't particularly large, I don't think. Okie dokie, let's get some cards. That's a decent one, although we can't cast it here. We can cast the Pacifism. Pretty weak place for Pacifism, but I want to get damage in. It's too weak. Too weak. Not even going to pacify yet. They're green-red. They have huge stuff. We should wait. And the Inspired Charge can really help get the last of it through. Oh, they may be... Alright, I guess I regret not pacifying, because they're going to have a pump spell here. Which wouldn't be too bad if we had just a little more white. Apparently I put this gift on the wrong land, but at the time I think we only had one forest. Maybe I was wrong and should have put the gift on the other forest. Maybe that's a big, the big mistake there. I had 2 of each at the time. Yeah, that's right, I did. I had 2 each of the time. So it's hard to say. I just got unlucky with Tripp's forest draw since. Why didn't I offer a trade? Because we have Inspired Charge. And Inspired Charge turns this trade into a win. And we could not cast the Inspired Charge with how our lands played out last turn. Well, there's a little extra white. Doesn't really matter here. Like, really what happened was that we needed to take up this whole deal to cast the Winged Words. But now I wish I had that Sailor instead of the Winged Words, but, you know, so it goes. We made the right call for the time. And here I am willing to throw the Pacifism down, keep the charge up. Was it correct to assume it? I mean, I think it's maybe correct to fear it, but I don't know if it's correct to assume it. Because then you're just saying, well, we're not going to attack because, my god, they might have a pump spell. So just the presence of this card means we're not ever attacking again. Like, I don't think you can do that. Oh, sorry, I thought it was indestructible. Yeah. My bad, that's a sure punt. I thought I knew the cards and didn't read. Boy, nice one. Early set embarrassments. Well, we can smash. And if we're willing to offer Splicer for each of them, we can, but I kind of just want to wait. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can still smash. All right, I'll smash. Yeah, I don't. You may be right. Like as far as punts go, it has at least a silver lining of we forced them to make it a 2/2, but certainly 2 mana and a card, remove a +1/+1 counter from target creature was not our ideal use of that card. Still, we're telegraphing Inspired Charge, but I don't know if what they're going to do about that. And I don't want to use it here if they're not going to block. Now my dream scenario is we find an Evolving Wilds off the top, fetch an island, and our next draw is the pirate. I mean, as long if we want to define just my fantasy of awesomeness from here. Although we have a lot of great draws. I forget we have the Howling Giant. How about a Howling Giant? Or Forest, sure. Sure. They might be on another pump spell here. We can't do much about that. Like, we gotta just keep challenging them. Choosing to block there is suggestive that they do in fact have something to target their smuggler with, or I don't think they'd make that block. Hopefully, I mean, it's probably another growth cycle, so that we won't even be able to charge here. But I'm actually willing to take this trade. I'm just going to pass, and if they don't want to use their growth cycle, I won't use my Inspired Charge. And now this, so the wolf was going to be eaten whether we used the charge or not. So now we at least get, we trade wolf token for growth cycle, and we keep the Inspired Charge. Yeah, right. If they growth cycle, we still lose the wolf, but we get to keep our Inspired Charge. That's good. I don't want to use that now. We can use Inspired Charge to try and take out the next block. Yeah, Smuggler is their card draw and is going to get really rough here, starting now. Oh, unless they somehow value... oh, no, I was thinking the wrong one. Smuggler... I was thinking of the 3/2, I guess. Never mind. So this is... Read cards, Ryan. How many times you got to punt today before you're going to read every card? Let's do that. Follow your own advice. Read every card in the battlefield, Ryan. And here's a new one to read that I'm in your way for again. Let's get out of here. Oh yeah, this is the one that just ends games. Sure. Good news, everybody. No mistakes in this game mattered whatsoever. Actually, it did, because if we still had the pacifism, it would be certainly be an excellent target, wouldn't it? Yeah, no plummet in the main, but Snort Me, I'm Dope is quite a username for wizards to allow through, but okay. Top deck plummet in a deck that doesn't contain it is a tall order. Nothing gets the dragon. Do we even show him anything? Like, what's the... let me look for outs. I don't want to give up if we have outs, but I'm worried we don't. Let's see, we have an aerial assault. So if they attack and wipe our board, we get to come back with we can draw an aerial assault. So let's just pass, keep everything in our hand, and play to our outs, which are currently is really aerial assault, and I'm looking for anything else. Eternal Isolation. We have Eternal Isolation. That's true. We could attack because they just kill everything. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the first match was a huge marathon, Rocky. Grind fest. Here you go. All right, we're playing to our outs, folks. We're not dead yet. We got 2 good outs to that dragon in... Oh, 3. We have Hanged Executioner as well. So we have Hanged Executioner, Eternal Isolation, and Aerial Assault. So we have a solid 3 outs to dealing with this dragon. We just need to do it in the next 2 turns or we're toast. In my experience, the format has been extremely grindy. Oh, is it any? Any target. Now we're dead. Oh well. Well, I like how we played to our outs, folks. Let's move on. Red, green. Did we see a splash? What are they splashing for over there? Yeah, I guess we bring in a plummet, but keep in mind, I don't want to go overboard countering one thing that we saw from Oppo. They're red-green. They might have the treasure dragon, but we saw exactly 1 flyer. Right? I have bad memory, so if we saw other flyers, let me know. So, like, I'm not even sure we want the plummet. Are y'all bringing in... Let's say that that's their only flyer. Do you like plummet against 1 bomb flyer? Yeah, I'm kind of with Windraven that we counted 3 outs we had to that, and we had the pacifism that I had already used. So we have 4 pieces of removal in the deck already that kind of deal with it, although, unfortunately, Aerial Assault requires... lets them get an attack in. Yeah, I think we skip the plummet on 1 creature until we see some treasure dragons. And as far as other stuff, don't like that. Don't like another gift. Yeah, I think we just run this back. But Danny V, the trouble is if you are if you draw your plummet and their dragon is lurking at the bottom of their deck, you may lose because plummet was a mulligan. The flying enchantment. This one, yeah, kind of. I'm gonna say done though. We're just gonna get him with the deck we came in with. Red has some flyers in this format. I did call out the Treasure Dragon. What else are we? The Chandra's Spitfire, I guess, is another one. Is there anything else? Sounds like Fiddles gave me the number. There are 5 non-rare flyers in red. 3/2 guy. Yeah. All right. Well, if we see anything more, I'll bring it in. But we only saw 1, so let's make him have a little more. Bird Grabber is not something to bring Plummet in for, even though it technically meets that constraint. We're going to keep this. We have Druid into Protector, into Paradise, into Champ on 4. I don't want to take risks when behind. I want to maximize my % chance of winning the game. If that means taking risks, then that's correct. If it means not taking risks, then it's not correct. Well, I would love for them to shock the Druid. Thanks for that. Hey, Prof. Thank you for the sub. And Funky's pointing out that because Oppo's hand paused with a single mountain up and no creatures on board, they basically are guaranteed to have shock, so we should think about that in terms of how we're playing stuff out. Be really cool if we could get a spot where we go champ, and have the raise the alarm ready to make them bigger. But we're going to start with Protector here. If we could draw a land, we would have. We could make 2 creatures to turn on the Druid. Oppo and I starting out pretty similarly here. Okay, so now we have... I don't want to play the champs into what we feel is a known shock when I can go gift onto planes, draw 3. Heck, we can do that without even tapping the Druid. Last time I regretted putting gift on the plains, actually. We do have the Druid for green, so I'm going to actually put it on the forest. And we get to draw. All right, thanks, deck. Good to get those out of the way. Just top deck me, raise the alarm, and all is forgiven, Shuffler. Boy, we're getting quite the flood here. Well, at this point, I'm going to give them one of the champs for their shock. I don't see what else to do. Gotta play Magic. I think Raise the Alarm has its place, but it's I think maybe people expect Raise the Alarm to represent inherently good raw power in and of itself. I've always felt Raise the Alarm is more of a build around type card, that it's or rather a synergy card, you know, that you play it where you're going to get a lot of synergy. They're trying to lure us into maybe a potential double block where they shock us for the blowout, but we're not going to do that. Yeah, it's 1 and a white. Also, I think people too often say, oh, it's 2 power and 2 toughness for 2, but it's only like a 2/2 on defense. It's much worse on attacking. I think that's the thing to remember about 1/1 token makers, is that they, when you say, oh, well, it's made 4 toughness and 4 power worth of creatures, that counts on defense, but it does not really count on offense quite the same way. Magic! We love magic. Not blocking, so we're attacking. Although we could consider blocking. It's still a 2 for 2, though. I want to give ourselves a chance to find a little more. We have so many things that make this champion bigger. Let's draw one of them. Just one of them. That's what I was thinking. You might just justify a Gift of Paradise in a green-red deck that's playing a red-red-red rare. Or 7 mana red-red-red rare. The Smuggler. This certainly suggests a splash, though, too, right? Tempting trade, but I'm going to take one more turn here to try and find some action. There's so many cards we draw that make Woodland Champion just so much better on this board. I want to give it one more chance. Oh yeah, I should block with Leafkin. We don't care about this mana anymore. And again, my mistakes don't really matter when we can't deal with that dude. Definitely should have blocked with the Druid, though. We don't care if they use tricks to take out the Druid. Now we're just basically dead. When you draw 5 lands in a row, decisions don't matter to the result. But you know, we're all here trying to make better decisions over time, and 25 years later, I'm still trying to improve my decision making at this game. As you can see, I make plenty of mistakes on the daily. Yeah, frustrating when you see how many mistakes you make, but you got to turn that frustration into a desire and intent to improve. GG, Oppo, nice deck. Yeah, you have to untap with it. We were able to survive an attack with it and had good outs to getting rid of it. I don't mind 7 mana creatures that at rare that just destroy the game. You've earned it. Well, I think white is showing its classic problems in limited, which is that it tends to skew aggro in how it fills roles for R&D. I find aggro tends to suffer in limited in the abstract because limited is hard. You can't just design a hyper aggro deck, and it's that whole thing where, are you really aggro, or are you just aggro leaning mid range? And I feel like aggro leaning mid range is just generally not a place you're wanting to be in limited. I either want to be true aggro or mid range or true control. And I think white just suffers a lot because how often it ends up slotting into aggro leaning mid range, and how that is just kind of underwhelming. But yeah, we had we won 5. We did a traditional 5-0 or 5-1 with blue white flyers. It seemed pretty good. So I don't think white is unplayable, but I think it has that problem of not having enough great archetypes that it's supporting. All right, well, suck it up, take the loss, and play better. This is actually a battlefield I can mess around with, so if we want to see, like, let's go webcam. Let's play around with being down here, see how that feels. There was a suggestion for, like, still keeping chat up here. I'll have to go back and look at the part where I asked people about it, but wasn't sure if there was consensus about whether it felt better to have chat next to me. It just feels so oppressive here, though. There's no place to put chat around me here, which is why I've kind of avoided this corner. But if this is cool, we could try this. Chat down here, you think? I don't know. I think if it... Oops. What is that even? Oh, that's the Jay Schneider tag that I'm dragging around. Funny, I feel like I'm being annoying to my opponent, but we're waiting on them. Let's try this organization and see how the world feels. You let me know on YouTube too. Is this cool for you guys on YouTube? Especially you're the ones that I want to make sure are having the chat-based experience that you like. And this looks good. Thordalis is digging the XP change. Me too. I basically had to tell a whole bunch of people that I did not recommend the pass for them based on the requirements of daily play, and then they fixed it, and now I can heartily recommend it for most players. Purple Monkeys asks what they fixed about the pass. You can check out my full article that covers the changes and the changes to the changes. But I'll go with the changes to the changes, which is to say the XP is no longer tied to daily wins. You earn XP through quests, through weekly wins, and through codes and the free events. So the weekly win means that players who normally wouldn't are able to take advantage of that. Sands is a little awk, but we do have the raise the alarm, and we don't have threat of activation unless we play the forest. But also, they might. Do we care? Do we want to? If we traded this for this, will we be happy? I think we'd be okay with that. We do want to keep our creatures for going wide, but I'm going to offer this on the assumption that maybe they don't want to make this trade, and they maybe don't want to block with us having mana up. Okay, good. That's great. We'd like to play Raise after the Griffin or after we draw our Woodland Champs or whatever, but I love being able to play this, play Raise the Alarm, untap, and play Saddle or Protector, and just keep our pressure up. Yeah, but does it... It tells you what you would earn if you bought it right at that moment. It doesn't tell you what you would get, right? Yeah, what I was looking for yesterday is actually what... oh, sorry, here, let me get this turn played. What I wanted was not a tool to see... Oh, man. That's so brutal. What I wanted was not a way to see what I would get if I bought the pass right now. I want to see what I would get if I had such and such mana by the end of the cycle. But we get a decent play here with Gift of Paradise onto a forest, and then Isolation on the Wave Crasher, attack for a bunch. That's decent. So anyway, what I wanted was what Raptor actually just then went and made for us, because Raptor's sweet. I'm gonna get it. All right, check out this. Raptor put this together. If you go and make a copy of that, you can put in your own value for what level you think you're going to end up at, and for how much you value in gems, things like boosters and stuff, and actually figure out where break even, you know, how much you would get out of it. That's what I wanted, and because I have awesome viewers, I got it. Now, Inspired Charge. What does that do for us here? I kind of like just attacking with the Inquisitor and building out our board some more. We'll charge it up later. Right now I'm liking Griffin Protector into Saddle, into this stuff.
Everyone, chill.
The only downside of waiting on the pass is that you get your stuff later. But there's no economic penalty. It's just a patience penalty. Well, too bad we don't get exactly what we wanted. We can do this first. We still get Saddle afterwards if we don't like what we see from the words. Now, oh, he's like, we did have the 4 for the Convolute, so it's possible they had Convolute that they couldn't use on the words, but could have used on the Saddle. They didn't, though. 3,400, James, for the pass. Probably had an attack here and screwed it up. They should be at 11. That was bad. I get so impatient. Play my stuff and then have bad attacks after. Nice voting, Thor Dallas. Oh yeah, Mike. How many times am I going to do that before I die? Play my stuff out and then realize I had an attack that I no longer have. I'm not the best Magic player in the world, folks. You all know that, but I try. Hopefully I'm one of the better teachers, though. I try to put my focus there. I was thinking we could Inspired Charge this turn, but this just makes me want to play the Giant. They didn't show Convolute last time. I hope they don't have it this time. Yeah, let's check the attack. As he almost makes the exact same mistake again. It's really hard to break bad habits, you know? Do we want to... I don't want to... I really don't want to play the Inspired Charge, though. Although, if we do... I'm going to attack with everything. If we have to take this turn off to Inspired Charge, it's not bad, is it? Like, then we follow with the Giant, and it's great. Yeah, I am. I'm doing it. I don't know if you all think this is exactly correct, but I think I don't need to be greedy in terms of getting charge plus giant value if I get huge charge value this turn. We're going to try. If they have Convolute now, they can counter this. That would be pretty rough, but then hopefully Howling Giant saves us. They didn't have Convolute last turn and had a good spot to use it. But there was a pause, and then they decided not to, so maybe they were thinking, I can let the saddle go, and I'm going to wait to get something like this or this. If so, that's incredible patience by Oppo. I would use a spell like Convolute as soon as I was able to. Ah, it was a Befuddle. Okay. That's cool. At least through the Befuddle, our Inquisitor survives. Yeah, good call, Blackadder. You called it. Nailed it. Anything worth moving this saddle to? Might be better on the first striker. And it doesn't kill the wolf to move it. So I think I will move this over here. It's just a little better over here. Yeah, Befuddle is easy for us to fade there with the extra point of toughness. Reset Press says, it's kind of alarming that we are getting these types of bugs with such a relatively small amount of sets in the program. Man, I think you're underestimating how hard it is to deliver a clean, perfectly stopped magic set. It's hard to see all the corners of it, you know? Well, now we have haste. I think I just like... because we spend 5 to get haste going, and then we can still activate. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, we can't activate and haste. But it's still probably worth it over the giant, huh? You want the giant. No Bone Dash, no Convolute. Haste and Trample, but yeah, we can do this and just get them all next turn. Haste and Trample. All right. Let's do it. I won't forget this time, I promise. I remember he has haste. Not yet. Sorry. Everything for Monday, buddy. Just been too crazy. I had a great, like, I got distracted with a bunch of other great stuff yesterday, which is why. I guess I could trample. It's not like sorcery speed or anything. I don't have to do that. I had to do the haste now, but the trample we could wait on if we wanted to threaten a little bit more mana. Oh, I didn't just attack all. That was a weird way to do it. I totally grant you, Reset, that what I'm surprised at is that they didn't respond to something as important as a card, something as important of a card as the Wilderness Reclamation. Like, it's even understandable to me that they would launch with Wilderness Reclamation not behaving the way that people wanted, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's almost... It's so hard to catch every corner case that you want to catch that it feels inevitable that you're going to launch with some. But what surprises me is that they didn't have that stuff snap fixed. Like, that's the surprise, not that it went out without being perfect. Yeah, War Boss and Wilderness Reclamation should have been things that were identified in the first week and fixed with the first update, I think. I'm really surprised those weren't done. Oh, sorry, I'm not thinking about equipment. Too much chatting. Looks like we were good anyway. Yeah, I had the trample ready too. Thank you, though. Boy, Mike, you're a much better player than I am. Thanks for hanging and helping me get better. Mike sees all. Chat mostly sees all. You all are very good. Collectively. Collectively, you're very good. I was lethal anyway. Then I'm a genius. And Mike overthinks things. What are we doing for sideboarding here? I'm joking around and losing time. Blue-white, was it? It was blue something. See, I remember one color. That's what I remember when I go into sideboarding, like one color. Or is it blue-green? They got flyers, though. That's the main thing, right? Plummet. I don't think we're playing Veil. I really want Veil against black more than that. Liked the isolation. You cut the gift, though, like I was saying. Although gift helps defend against those small flyers. So does the spider, though. I know we're running short on time. This is a tough cut. I think I will go gift, though. Sipping at empty cups again. All right, looks good. Just got the ping from Jay Schneider, who will be joining us after this event and after my lunch break. Hey, Geborg. That's Jay. Druid into Splicer into Shaman seems like a great way to go, a great way to start. Turn 3 Teferi, yeah, 3 mana Teferi causes a lot of scoops. on Arena. Maybe appropriately. Well, Oppo's going to draw the heck out of their deck. We just have to hope they can't remove our stuff and that our card advantage is killing them with 5 cards stuck in their hand, you know? Well, we get basically the same play we had before if we want it. And because we drew this, I was considering just playing the Shaman anyway, but now we get Isolation Executioner, and we're totally going to do that. Could have gone Executioner and had extra mana, but we didn't really need it for what we wanted to do here. See, like, this whole, you know, bouncing the flyer, getting an extra card, it's all well and good, but since we were able to remove their 4-drop for 2 mana, it just puts us in an almost unlosable spot with the Inspired Charge. To the point that I think it's correct here to not worry about the Shaman right now and just send in with the team and charge. We might even lose our Executioner, but I just don't care. Depends on how they block. No, I would switch those blocks if I were Oppo, but it looks like they're going to do that. Oh, they want to do it that way. Okay. That charge was part damage, part removal. You know, it didn't finish them off. Oh. Should have sent a poet. Oh, and we even get... Let's go... This. And like this. That went all right. Yeah, that's what I was expecting Oppo to do, which is why I was saying, heck, they even get to eat, you know, trade with our Executioner, and that's still okay. Because we were just all about overwhelming them before they could leverage their card advantage. And it worked. But that's like why white isn't good, because white always has to do that. White's constantly put in this position of win now or that blue deck is going to take over. And it's like sometimes the white deck can win now, but the times that it can't, it's just waiting to die to that. DJ still wants the hyper aggro build. Sure. You know what? For science, let's see what happens when we go all in on aggro and cut the splash. I think we cut wilds. I'm having self-doubt about the role of evolving wilds in a 2-color deck in limited. On the one hand, I love a blossoming sands, or I'm totally willing to play that. On the other hand, I'm reticent to play an evolving wilds. Why is that? Mike, what do you do? Do you run evolving wilds in, let's say it's a blue-black control deck with, you know, a typical mix of some CC type spells, but not a bunch? Or yeah, what about you, Sir Temmie? Do you run evolving wilds in 2-color? 2-color, average 2-color. Obviously, like if you're running some Cavaliers and stuff, then I like it more. So would you run it here? Do you want to do this? And then let's see if we do this. We have we want to go. Oh, we want captains back in. Maybe even cut the spider as being a little more defensive than we want, but still keep the giant. Does that make sense? We have one gift in here. Cut gift, or cut that gift for this gift, or chaplain. Could put in sentinel. Anybody like chaplain more than any of our other twos? Maybe cut, just have one gift. So the sentinel can go in the air. It's decent with inspired charge. Can wear a saddle. Saddle up the sentinel. All right, let's give two color a go. The reason I tend to lean towards like a blue splash, DJ, is because of what I was talking about how I feel like being pushed into aggro-leaning mid-range, which is what we are here, is not the ideal spot to be. And what I want is to know how I'm going to have a chance at winning a long game that gets into a grind fest, and blue gives me some answers to that. Like, oh, I'm going to outdraw them, right? We'll keep this. Not as low to the ground as we want, but hey, there we go. It's like we have a lot of twos, and I can't give up this mana spell ratio. Ideally, we find a 3. Hey, that's a 4, not a 3, but maybe we'll find a 3. Got a lot of 4s here, unfortunately, clogging it up. Maybe our 3 is activate. Well, I could throw this now to spend our mana, but kind of the point of running this is to make dragons, so I'm going to wait. This is what I was confusing with the hasty dude before. I like this card. I think the format is showing its grind, and 3-2 for 3 is not, we don't want it, but if it's the floor, then you can really take a look at that ability and ask if it's worth that, and I think it kind of is. Like, turning lands into cards late is so good for red. It's practically blue. Sure. I'm going with the Splicer now. We may find forests that allow us to haste that. That was my thinking. Since we had this choice last time and I felt I leaned the wrong way, that this is a pretty close choice when you need a third forest to do what you want to do, but it's a similar amount of power. And here, you know, here's a reason to do it this way, especially since we added all those captains to the deck, is that multiple creatures has a lot of application for our stuff. Here, what do we want to do? We got 5 mana. We can't really 2-spell. No 2-spell unless we want to go gift pacifism, which we could do. We can make a dragon out of the golem, and because I do think we want to gift. We do want to pacify this this dragon. So yeah, I can do it that way. Let's gift first, though. Then. gives us another play option, actually. So now, since the golem can attack through the dragon, we're not going to pacifism. That's why I gifted first, to see if it changed the plan, and it did. Even better. But we can start... If we start with this, then they're put in a spot of needing to trade. We can't attack with a pup. Maybe we should just keep going wide. Maybe captain first. Or maybe even saddle first. Just attack with the 4/4. 2/2, see if they want to trade. Play out more stuff. I think we want to save these two after we've deployed these two, is basically what I'm thinking. And I'm going to go with Ceratops after attack. And I'm only going to attack the one good air attack. With all this pump, we want to save the wolf. Well, if they got a murder or removal or whatever, we're going to find out. But, as always, make them have it. It might just be 3 mana for the digger. They might just be digging. Turning that treasure into card draw, pretty sweet. Love it, Oppo. Nice job. I got 1 life out of that, but the smallness of the creature is good news for us. If we draw a land, we get to pacifism and have charge or captain, or saddle if we want to do that first. And here we have that choice. I think it's time to pacifism, and then for sure, because it keeps the golem attack in the air alive. And at 11, I think it's just time to swing away and use the inspired charge angle. This is just a lot of damage. And it leaves them with no great blocks. They can trade for our junky stuff or be eaten by our better stuff, depending on how they block. Digger on Wolf is probably their best block if they're anticipating a inspired charge. And that's how you play around these types of things. You just imagine that your opponent is going to cast that card and then line up your blocks, assuming that that's what's going to happen. And then that's where this ends up not looking great, because we get to trade our worst stuff for some of their decent stuff. Red-black. Red-black is what they're playing, Ryan. You can remember that. They have some flyers in black, so you can bring in the Plummet and maybe the Spida. We never really got targeted by black removal. We might presume it's in there and bring that in. Excuse me, but I'm more inclined to cut the weak Sentinel. And yeah, I'm with you on isolation. That didn't seem like it had good targets there, did it? Like 0. We saw 0 that game. Great call, press. Appreciate the eye there. And then I think I like this. Yeah, the Veil is a big maybe. We would be able to draw and They probably have something for it, but let's make them show us some decent black removal. Yeah, this is a little sketchy, but we're gonna keep. We can get 2 land. This is kind of like a mulligan here, but we get a free draw here. I don't know. Maybe this is actually a mulligan. What is this hand doing? This hand doesn't do anything. Try a refresh, Doc. Have you done that? Oh, is just chat broken all over the place? That could be. I don't know. I'm seeing everybody's chats though. Yeah, I think we have to mulligan this. This is not doing anything. This also literally not doing anything. But we're gonna make this work. Okay, so we obviously got to ditch this gift. It is not very relevant. And frankly, we're gonna be greedy and try and find extra lands. I think when you go to 5, you got to be greedy. Yep, I see it, Oni. All right, if we can go land, we could maybe do some stuff. Maybe not. Regardless, we need to go like land probably, or at least land. Hey, there's a start. This isn't a great target here, but I want to use my mana and try to give us our chance to draw into a longer game. Forest. That's Bad News Bears. Looks pretty unrecoverable. If these are all lands, if they got literally nothing, it's not unrecoverable. But now it pretty much is. Now I don't see. So I guess we go. If we play the Executioner, they attack us for 6, 7, 8, 9, and yeah, whatever. We're dead. We're so dead. We did side in Plummet. But I like running it back. We'll just not mold a 5 this time, and our cards will come in the right order. Good news, if we lose, it just means we get Jay on sooner. Ugh, no white yet, but I'm not going to throw this back. We have a lot of fixing. We have a lot of good outs to white. Planes off the top, one-time dealer, please. Planes. What are we getting rid of here? Probably one of the white. Definitely one of the white. Well, we could actually get rid of the forest. Like, we're gonna lose if we don't draw planes anyway. Would you get rid of the forest here? Is that crazy? Like, we can't cast anything anyway. The only reason we'd want the forest is if we specifically draw like a 4-drop green card, which we have. You know. Yeah. Yeah, let's ditch this. Like, we don't actually need this. That's not, like... Yeah, we need this. I'll take it. We need to get to 4 mana, says James, but but it needs to have white. It didn't matter to be at 4 mana here. Close enough to planes for me, given our circumstance. Ooh, protect. Decent turn. We got captains coming from behind. With 4 creatures, we can silverback if we want. Ooh, they're looking at our golem, which kind of stinks. Are you gonna kill our golem? That'd be bad. If we lose the golem, our chances go so much farther down. We're still okay, but that hurt. And we now no longer have the ability to make 5 mana. We can get 5 in pieces, but having 3 after we do a 2 doesn't really matter. If we captain here, Griffin Protector can attack, but that's not super exciting. So let's continue to go wide and just go Champ and Inquisitor. Oh, and actually with 2 creatures we do get to attack the Protector too, so that's nice. Since we're trying to go wide and pump, these damages we get in with situations like this are just massive, because getting someone dead from 13 with this kind of stuff is so much easier than 17. It's like 4 life easier, I think. Some of you might not have been here earlier when we shared out the super sweet spreadsheet that Velociraptor the Velociraptor made for us, that you can use to predict the value you're going to get from the Mastery Pass. So that's a pretty sweet link there if you haven't checked it out yet. This makes me want to wait yet again on the captain and instead raise the alarm as a combat trick. What's going on here? I'm like distracted again. What happened? I don't even know what happened. Oh, they made a demon. Okay. I think we just are in the position to go around it, though. End of turn raise, untap, cap, win. Yeah, we can do it that way. Maybe we should do it that. Let's see. We have 1, 2, we have 5. Sure. I hope we don't die to them, though. That's the only concern there. But I like that plan. We're gonna go raise the alarm and have such go wide for captains that I think we get there. Especially if they attack here. If they go down blockers. Ooh, yes. Let's make him have it. Should I block first? Yeah, they don't have counter magic. If they had counter magic, you might want to play this first to make sure that your guy got big enough. But if they have something to disrupt it, it's not going to be anything that matters. Like, counterspell here would be awful, right? But if they have something like murder, murder wasn't going to save the situation anyway. That's pretty hot. I think this is ours. No, it's sorcery speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers, or sets. Okay. Dang it, they had another creature. That was just the one thing that I didn't want to see. Oh, this is good, though. This is good. We can go... Well, maybe it's not. Let's see. All right. Sadly, we didn't get the land for the captain. We have it, says Fiddles. Let's, yeah, sorry, let me do the math. Fiddles says we have it, but I want to do the math. 1, 2, 3 creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers. So 4 get through no matter what. Our 4 smallest are Druid, Splicer. So we get a total of 7 damage through. How do we win? Yeah. I don't see us having it. Which means that we need to go Ceratops and be patient. Yeah, we can haste Ceratops, and then we lose this attacker. Let's see if that's enough. But yeah, then we don't get the pump is the thing. So now we have the ability to go reach and block one of those demons and not just die. I don't like how the hovering over stuff at the top of the screen goes on. Like, they should pull this down. Pull this down. Let me see it. This no longer worries me because it doesn't change the number of blockers they can have. I'd love for them to use it. It would put them at 7 with 3 blockers instead of 9 with 3 blockers. Yeah, there's some awkward multiple command type rollover stuff happening in the battlefield. It's true. Yeah, reset press. It's not... Doesn't seem like it'd be hard, but also it doesn't feel like it's been like this. Is this new? Is this an introduced bug? I don't feel like my stuff has been cropping like this, but maybe I just haven't been zooming at cards up top a lot? I'm not sure. So that's a bug from yesterday is what you're saying, Wujo? It was introduced? Okay. I was gonna say, I really didn't notice it before, so I feel like I surely would have noticed that by now if that were something happening constantly, because I'm finding it very annoying. Well, again, we don't get the extra point here. But now they have 3 blockers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attackers. We get our 5 smallest through, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's... oh, no, we don't get this one, though, right? We don't. I'm miscounting. So... oh, do we have lethal? Let's see. This is where I distrust myself. So we get through with these, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we do. Great. Sometimes I overthink it and just don't do the math that if I would just do the math would be easy. Trample doesn't even matter. Our unblocks do it. Trample doesn't matter. They have 7 life, and we had more than 7 or more getting through unblocked. Tramps for style. The style of teabagging? Is that what style that is? Very nice. White is not super popular, widely regarded as 5th place color, but also regarded as playable, and we're making it work. Yeah, haste is really your style one, right? Is your rub-ins. Sorry, Jay, to make you wait. Oh, and actually, I got to be very careful today. I'm taking ma petite chienne to the vet. And I want to make sure I know when that appointment is. Give me 1 second here. All right, I have a vet appointment in 3.5 hours. That's plenty of time. We're good. He says about to get into 2 incredibly grindy matches that go forever. All right, we'll keep this. This into this is pretty nice. I'm going to start on wilds to thin our deck of lands. Is there a draft tier list for this pack, for this set? I don't really do draft tier lists. I don't know what's the point of that. Are we just trying to make pick orders for pack 1, pick 1 with tier lists? Is that the point of them? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with a tier list besides tell you what to take pack 1, pick 1, when around here what I tell you to take pack 1, pick 1 is the rare, so I don't know. Yeah, we decided to cut the blue splash and see how it's played as a 2-color deck, since both of those builds seemed perfectly legit and worthwhile. Thief is audacious. We could play the Splicer, but it gives them a Thief ping Master Splicer, but then the Golem gets to eat the Thief. If they have removal for the Golem, though, then that's a pretty rough play. Of course, if they have removal for the Golem, these 2 plays are rough as well, so maybe that doesn't matter. But Splicer doubles up the Champ, or at least gets increases... Oh, these both increase the Champ power, so there's that. We don't want to attack first because Champ gets a counter off of this and this. Yeah, let's go Saddle. Then if they manage to, quote, kill our 3/3, it's actually a 2/2 and we get something behind. And even though we are shields down on Inquisitor, they can absolutely make that trade if they want. What do you know? They don't want. They need a pretty good turn here. They've shown that they could do it, but I like where we're going here, so let's see what we can pull off. Ooh, 5 mana, open. Outraged. We saw Outrage. No, this is game 1, so we know nothing. Never mind. I was thinking that we knew something about Oppo's deck just because it was red-black, so it looked familiar. But I just think we're going to splice here. I don't like Captain and Bash. I like Splice and Bash. It gets the Champ bigger and sets up a better Captain next turn. And they're putting a tough spot here. Are you really going to take 9? You're at 13. You're going to take 9? You can't take 9. Yeah, you got to make a trade. So, but they can't take 9, but I also don't see how they can win by making that trade unless they have some kind of mass removal I'm not thinking about. Yeah, a lot of these recent effects have had Vigilance as part of the effect, but not this one. Kind of expecting Exploding Jaya here, but we'll see. Flame Swipe, right. And we survived that really well. Exploding Jaya indeed. Red-black. Could put in the Chaplain. But that just kind of almost feels constructed-like in its mentality. I think what we do is cut Eternal Isolation and the Chaplain, and we could even put in Dragonfire. Red-black probably has a fair number of flyers. We could try a Plummet, too. Yeah, presume the Veil might be useful. Well, they're playing a lot of small stuff, so that's what I was thinking about. Like, black-red tends to play, like, I'd be happy to, like, I want to kill that thief, honestly. Like, this is like, oh, they're playing Audacious Thieves. Let's bring in shocks, no matter how much they they cost, right? Yeah, but it was like, but you can look at their colors and know that that this is generally going to be more useful against a red-black type deck. So we don't have much to go on, though. I'm going to try this, though. I'm going to go with... maybe we cut... Nah, I like this. We'll try this. Oh, invalid deck. Can't try this. Great. Then I will add a Spider or a Plummet or... We try that Veil. What do you think for our final ad here? Spooter. That's where I was heading. All right. Enough people are on board with that. Let's do it. Rough. Double green, double green. Dan, if we end up facing a lot of black removal here, we'll bring that in. But we saw one swamp. So I want to play it a little cagey on that before we commit to the Veil. I didn't like that we had two cards that needed double green and are at their best when cast on curve. Like, that rare gets worse and worse and worse the farther past turn 4 you go. So we'll drop this here, though, clearly. Yeah, I kind of disagree. I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty greedy keep to... have a 4-drop and a 5-drop that require double green in your greenless 2-lander. Yeah. I don't know if people were... But I don't know. It has to be the first hand, because the second hand was a sneep. So if there was any debate, it had to be clearly about that first hand. Sad Shock is still a shock, and if they drop a 2-toughness creature, we'll be pretty happy. Let's saddle up. This uses all our mana without showing them the Dragonfire exists in our hand. And obviously we want to save these for as late as possible to max out the +1/+1 value. Oppo's up against it now. But we're going to go Inquisitor Vile here, so I'm not going to play the captain yet. This might produce a scoop here. They need something pretty good again. Sorry, Anon, for your rough luck on the Mold of 5. Shock is not going to get it done against a Regisaur, but I still like where we're at here. We're just going to go wide and get him. Actually, do it with the other one, and I think we just win. Math is for blockers. Yeah, it must have been a greedy keep from Oppo. Although they went, didn't they go to 5? Like, it can't be a, no, it wasn't a greedy keep. It was not. They went to 5. So I'm sure it was a forced keep for Oppo. Well, look at this, folks. Jay, I hope you're comfortable because we're playing one more. But only one more. One more match, then I'm going to take a lunch break. And then we'll jump back on and explore some Constructed with Jay. We'll take a look at the metagame challenge or whatever. We'll take a look at whatever weird hoop they're making us jump through this week, and we'll I want to show Jay. I haven't even talked to Jay since last week. I want to show Jay how I evolved his Goblin deck. No, I think I still have blue at the top, white at the bottom, and maybe green and black kind of hovering, competing for second, and red fourth? I don't know. Bunch of 4-drops. That is rough, but I am going to keep this. How do I feel about the two different builds? I can definitely feel the benefits of this, but so far we have sequenced well and played some players who got stuck, and you know, so it feels good, but we haven't really been challenged. Let's see how it goes here. I mean, maybe you would anybody have mulliganed this? I didn't feel like I could possibly mull it, but we're getting super punished. All right, at least we have one 3-drop we can play here. Sigrist's a pretty smart guy, so maybe there's something to how the bots are valuing red to be taken advantage of right now. Well, darn it. Basically, I want to play every single one of these cards after a Woodland Champ, but I really want to use all of our mana. Anybody running the champ out here? The Woodland Champ over one of our 4-drops? Feels pretty greedy to go for a bunch, but yeah, this becomes a 4/4. Yeah, I think we just saddle, huh? But then we might as well start with an attack. I'm going to remember this time. I'm going to remember to attack. Yeah, champ actually, like, let's not get obsessed with, let's say this was 4 mana. Pretend this was 4 mana, then what would you want to do? If this was 4 mana, I think I would want to play, I would still play it, right? Like, Odds of a shock are non-zero. It's true, but if they don't have it, we immediately get it out of shock range. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play it because yes, it's not mana efficient, but it was also it's not like we're gonna get some mana efficient turn coming up unless we specifically draw a 2-drop. Like the only thing that makes us have a mana efficient turn with the Woodland Champion anytime soon is like drawing a 2-drop. And if they can't kill it, it attacks just as large as the saddle does anyway. Are you sure Ben S would have done that? Let's hear. I'll take a screenshot and we'll ask him. I can recreate it to kind of show how it was, or maybe I'll take it from the video later. But we'll ask him. Yeah, I think you're right, Gibor. We knew what we knew the risk we were taking on when we kept this hand. I usually try to be as mana efficient as possible, but what I noted there is that mana efficiency is relatively unchanged by playing the Woodland Champion versus one of these, unless we have very specific draws over the next few turns. And whereas if this lives, over the next few turns, it becomes the best creature on our board. So I think it's pretty hard to get punished on our draw. Even a 2-drop. Like, the most punishing draw here for our decision is a 2-drop, and even then, it's not that much of a punishment. Yeah, we'll post a screenshot to Twitter later, if I can remember. If I don't want to, you can ask him. And here we are. What do we do? Probably just the Splicer at this point. They certainly don't have Shock, or the Champ would be dead. If we play Splicer, they're probably gonna... They might block with the Aeronaut, but I think I'm fine with that. I think we offer that trade, and that's cool. Or we don't, and... Do you think they'd take it? Yeah, actually, I'm gonna wait now, because... I don't want that trade. I really don't. And maybe it's we're setting up a race against a deck with this. And maybe they don't block, but I would. Man, white-green tokens shows up and there's a Woodland Champion getting bigger. I would snap block that. Hello, child. The first of my teenagers emerges. No, was there an earthquake?
Last night, too. 51 a.m. 4.6.
Here? Oh, yeah, 4.6 is really... you can't even really feel it too much. You get to like 5, you can start to feel it.
I was sad I didn't wake up, though. I thought it'd be cool.
Oh, sorry, I gotta get back to this game here. Talking with my daughter. They're doing this. What are we... did they do something? What happened? What's going on? Why can't anything else block? This was made unblockable by this. Got it. All right, I'm in. I just had to get my head straight. If we can hang on for one more land, we then get the Executioner Pacifism turn. The race is not amazing here, though. We could saddle, and that turns this into a 4, and the saddle, the wolf with the saddle, we're happy to block with. You want a captain go? Yeah, let's start adding up the pressure. Show them what the race really is here. If they attack here, we need to presume lots of pump or whatever and do some blocking. Squandered Resources was one of the rejected titles of our podcast. I was like, what happened? Where's the trigger? The Richter scale is really hard to parse. It doesn't help people. I don't see blocking here. They don't have anything in the yard. I don't see 2 spells that get it done. We basically be chumping here, and I think the damage in the air with the captain is actually more important than the 3 damage we're taking here. Season of Growth is a build around. We actually played it yesterday. We had 2 copies and like a couple of auras that we wanted to play on our own creatures, and a Rabid Bite and 2 pump spells. I think if you get... For me, it's about the Rabid Bites. Like, if you pick up the 3 Rabid Bite deck, then I'm into this. Alright, so now we have Pacifism plus Executioner. Is that good enough? If we pacify... one blocker, they have 2 blocker, or they have 3 blockers. I'm checking for lethal. I don't see how it's lethal, but I'm checking. This becomes a 4/4. They block, 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 and then we have just 2. Yeah, that's not lethal, right? So we got to do Captain this turn, and let's see. I also want to make sure that we're not... We get this back on D and this back on D no matter what. And we force a bunch of blocks on their end. But there's an argument for, like, Pacifism, Executioner here, and then Captain next turn. So... What about... actually just taking a turn off and doing it next turn? I think we need to be patient here. We're going to lose to the Crackback, and we want to get this Mastiff no longer attacking with the Smuggler. Do you think I had lethal there? Oh, did I screw up not thinking about the Trailblazer? Possibly. Well, I hope I don't punt away this match on that. Yeah, I definitely missed the Blazer. We'll see if it costs us. Magic is hard, especially while you're chatting with the world. See, magic is hard for... Oh, well... So I can't... Obviously, I didn't have time to fully do the math there. Was that a game punt? Like, did we literally have lethal next turn? I didn't feel like we had lethal. Did I miss lethal? Is my question to chat. If I didn't miss lethal, then my line was justifiable. If I miss lethal, then I'm annoyed. But magic's hard. So green red beats. Well, seems to be some disagreement among chat as to whether that was missed lethal or not. Maybe I'll go back and watch that one later, or maybe you YouTube viewers who are watching can rewind and and establish the truth of the matter. Yeah, we would have forced blocks, but we were at 7. I think my feeling was that we forced blocks and then lose on the backswing, but I didn't really have time to suss that out the whole way. We did see that annoying red flyer, but not much else. I don't know if that's worth a plummet or not. don't think it's necessarily worth a plummet. Yeah, maybe the spider is better than a plummet for like this gift. Giant for spider would have been fine too. I think we'll still be fine with the giant. We're not. It's not ever that aggro. Like the giant's just amazing. We'll get there. You'll see. If we cast the giant, we'll be so happy he's there. I know he's high on the curve. I don't think that's necessarily true. Maybe we're not supposed to play sevens, but I think I hate maybe this is me being bad at playing aggro leaning mid range. But again, I refuse to call this aggro. We're like aggro leaning mid range, and I hate cutting things that help us close out a game that does go a little long. Well, they better shock the heck out of our champions, or this is going to be over real quick. I'm just playing the other champ, and then we're going to see what we can do. It's not great at closing, but it puts us 3 creatures to our go wide strategy. We have 2 captains and an inspiring charge, and I feel like it can help you get the capacity and size needed to get around it. But maybe if we go to game 3, we can talk giant again. I can try taking it out. But I'm wary of the whole... You're too aggro for that 7-drop thing. Captain for the win, barring something very nice. Captain for the suck it, at the very least. I don't know what you're talking about, Press. Is that a response to Hat? I guess I don't know what Hat's talking about. Hey, look, it's a giant. That if it was a spider, we could totally cast it. Although we have the spider in the deck. This would be a replacement for, like, the flying enchantment. This would have been totally good if we, yeah, giant, it's fine. Giant's so good. That's the thing. It just does so much. We don't ramp to it, though. I admit that. Still on board with cutting it? We can cut it. I'll cut it if that's what the team wants. You can do like this and like this. All right, we have enough time. I'm going to do a poll. 30 seconds for giant or gift. What we're playing. This is for what we're playing. Are we running giant or gift? And if you think it should be something other than gift, still vote gift. Gift just means not giant. If you want chaplain, vote gift, and we'll talk about whether it should be gift or something else. All right, it's like 13-6. Get back in, giant. We love you. Well, I hope we can claim 5, especially if it turns out I did punt game 1 away. All right, this looks solid. And we can compare. It's one data point. Nobody's settling any arguments on one data point, but it will be interesting to see whether the Howling Giant proves more or less useful than a gift here. Isolation is not something I cut against green decks. No way. I don't know what it does yet, Wujo, but there you go. It kills that. Right? I mean, it's green. Like, of course it's going to get something. This is sad, though. We're under it. Maybe we have to go Executioner here so we can take out that Thicket Crasher ASAP. Do that next turn. We can't sit here taking 4 a turn. This thing's got to die next turn, not just on turn 5, I think. If we can. We'll see if we can manage it. Can't block that. Oh, I was like, nothing too harsh, please. But that's pretty darn harsh. We do have a follow-up. This is not sorcery or anything, right? Unfortunately, everything has trample, so it doesn't really matter. The block and sack doesn't do it any better than anything else. And in fact, chumping with O1s doesn't really do anything. So we're gonna have to take another 6, exile one of their 4/3s, and then try to recover after that. But I'm not blocking yet with either the flyers, and the block and sack doesn't matter. We could play the Splicer and threaten a creature trade, but it doesn't matter which order. Like, the trouble with it doesn't stabilize, though. They can attack into the Splicer. I don't know what you mean. Oh, sorry. I thought you said somebody said Splicer stabilizes. The problem, if you can promise me they don't have removal, then yeah, Splicer. But if they have removal, Splicer is rough, and Executioner still gets the job done. That's the key. And block sack, doesn't matter either, because block and sack against trample does nothing. These are all elementals. 100% elementals. I still don't know what you're talking about. That's not going to do anything. I'm going to do this now. I already gave my reasons for why I'm not playing the Splicer here. But I'll say it again. I'm not playing the Splicer because that's creature-based removal, which is preferable if you can get away with it, but it's far worse if you are facing removal from Oppo. And so that gave us a surefire death of a 4/3. Surefire death of a 4/3, which is absolutely what we had to guarantee a dead 4/3 on that turn in my mind, or we're taking too much risk. Everybody wanted to play the Splicer. Yeah, that's the next plan. We're going to do that next turn and absolutely try the creature-based removal for the other one. But we needed a certain dead Thicket Crasher last turn. We could play Spider here. And hope it's enough, I guess. Now we might have to stay back just to absorb 1 point of trample damage, really. But I think also we kind of need to wait and use the Spirit in conjunction with another block to get something. So I am going to make a pretty aggressive attack with the Flyer just because I don't think we're blocking with it here. Because if we're blocking, we're saying we're so desperate we're gonna trade a creature for a point of life, and I just don't want to do that yet when we have the means to double block with it. Oh, does that just kill us? No, we still have here. Smugglers make this pretty unwinnable. We don't have any of our life gain in either, so I think that's it. Looks like in this context, Giant fails. If we had, we might... I don't think we would have time to spend white to cycle, but Giant certainly did nothing here. And yeah, I'm just going to give it to him. I think they can read their smugglers, and we cannot do literally anything about it. So, rough beats. If I punted away that match, I'll go look at that later. Understandable, though. I got to forgive myself. Arena really puts pressure on me with the fuse, and it's such a disaster to do nothing. Like, I've had on-stream punts where the punt is that I just pass the turn without making any play, and that's... Whew. I don't know, Wujo. There was suggestion that my choice in game 1 or in game 2, whatever game we lost, that when I made the line I did, we had lethal there, and then they followed up and got us. So if that's true, and there was lethal there, that's a bummer. But also, yeah, I gotta accept my level of ability to process, and that rope just does not give you much time. Oh, anyway, let's go back and get our packs, though. I don't think Hat repented. Hat said that we had two 1/1s that were unblockable. Two 1/1s would have gotten through, so that if we had captained, we would have gotten 4. Yeah, Fuse creates definite anxiety. But hey, let's be happy. Look at this. We got legit profit, 5 packs, and this is the free-to-play account keeping its resources up. So I'm happy. Prof Wright says you're wrong, Hat. Anyway, let's not worry about that too much longer. Even if it was a punt, you got to forgive yourself those punts. Magic's a tough game, and the Fuse does not give you a lot of wiggle room to figure it out. It really doesn't. And if it was like on Magic Online, I could have tanked for 5 minutes there to figure it out, and it would have been fine. But I make a lot of punts on stream due to, look, I got 20 seconds to come up with something, and I got to come up with something that's better than passing the turn for no play whatsoever. But interesting day of draft so far, and I'm going to say goodbye to our YouTube friends here. See you, YouTube. We'll catch you on the next draft, and you can look for the other video I'll put up as well. That will be the standard constructed stuff that we're going to do after a break. So see ya.